So when I was in the military, I PCSed enough times to know the difference between finding what's available and finding what's actually smart. If you're headed to Peterson Space Force Base and looking for some new construction, everyone is going to point you towards the Northern Powers Corridor area. But I want to be the one that just warns you about all the different trade-offs. The Northern Powers Corridor area sits just northeast of Peterson, so it will be just a straight shot down either the Powers Boulevard or Mark Shuffle Road. I keep recommending this area for one reason. It was built for the people who just don't have time for those weekend projects. I'm Chrissy Terrell, an Air Force veteran with multiple PCS moves on my record, and now a local real estate agent right here in Colorado Springs. If you've been following this series, you know I really don't like to sugarcoat anything. So let's get into it. First, the Northern Powers Corridor isn't just one giant neighborhood. It's a cluster of communities with very different feels. On one hand, you have the heavy hitters like Cordera and Wolf Ranch. These are like the true master planned communities. Think like resort style living. So they're all gonna have like community centers, heated pools, and just parks on like every corner. On the other hand, you've got areas like Ridgeview and Stetson Hills. These are fantastic newer communities that still have HOAs just to kind of keep the neighborhood looking sharp and protected, but they just don't have that master country club kind of amenities. This usually means your monthly payment dues are lower, while you still get that like clean, modern feel. The question isn't which one is better. The question is really, what does your family actually need? Because that's gonna determine where in the corridor you're going to be shopping. But before we talk a single dollar of price, I really need you to hear this, because I have talked to a lot of different homeowners who signed their names on the dotted line without doing the research necessary. Now, the reason why I point military members towards this area is really just gonna be the commute. You have a straight shot down to Peterson using either the Powers Boulevard or Mark Shuffle Road. On a good day, you're looking at about like 20 to 35 minutes to get to the West Gate. However, if you are moving here in 2026, please pay close attention, because Mark Shuffle is currently a total construction zone. They are doing a massive widening and utility work project on the Barnes & Noble and Dublin Boulevard area that is just expected to last through 2026. Right now, I'm telling all of my clients to stick to the Powers Boulevard. Yes, there is a bunch of congestion, but it is predictable congestion, which in my opinion beats construction stop and go. That's really gonna add an extra like 20 to 30 minutes to your drive. Now let's talk money, because this area is really going to come with some newness premiums. If you're looking in apartments, I would expect to pay about $1,500 to $2,400 for a 1 to 3 bedroom, while a single family rental is going to sit between $2,400 up to $3,200 for a 3 to 4 bedroom. If you're buying, the average home here is going to be about $530,000. Why? That is because half of these homes were built in 2020 or later. You aren't just buying a house, you're just buying a project-free weekend. So no roof surprises, no HVAC emergencies, no maintenance lists waiting for you at the end of the day. For my dual military families or senior ranks like my E8s and my O3s, your 2026 BAH is gonna land at about $2,550 or just $2,600. That covers a significant chunk of the mortgage. For most of my clients at that level, paying a little bit out of pocket for a brand new home is just kind of worth every dollar for them. And real quick, guys, if you are in the early stages of your PCS and you're just not sure what fits your budget, please feel free to drop your rank in the comments below. I answer every single one, and I'll tell you exactly which commutes in these corridors actually align with your BAH. Now, if you're an E5, don't click off just yet. Here is my advice. If your heart is just set on this area, you really need to be looking at townhomes. So for about $325,000 up to $350,000, you can get a 2015 or newer townhome that actually fits within that like 2,300 BAH range. And you'll still be in the corridor. You'll still be building equity in a prime location, and you're not stretching your paycheck to the breaking point. And that's just the smartest play for this area. Now, let's switch gears to safety. And I want to be straight with you on this one. If you look at the 2026 crime maps, the Northern Powers Corridor consistently shows some of the lowest crime rates in Colorado Springs. And in fact, areas like the Corridor and Wolf Ranch often are rated like significantly safer than like the citywide average for like property crime and violent crimes. But to be 100% real with you, these are just statistics. Just because an area is green on a map doesn't mean crime is just non-existent. Package theft and vehicle break-ins can really happen anywhere, even in like the nicest of master plan communities. Don't just take my word for it or rely on like a static map. Do your own research. Drive the neighborhood at like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and then just double check it again at like 9 p.m. on a Friday. Check out the vibes and just make sure the environment matches your personal comfort level before you sign any sort of major contract. Lifestyle-wise, if you value convenience, this area is really hard to beat. You are right on the Powers Corridor commercial shopping strip. So I'm talking Costco's, the movies, Gunther Tootie's Diner, and then Bubba's 33, all with just like in minutes of each other. So day-to-day living is completely frictionless here. But I am going to give you my two biggest complaints. First, this area doesn't have any sort of like real soul. You won't find any of those like mom and pop spots or any real historic charm here. What you get is efficiency and safety. What you're giving up is the quirky local restaurants and that 100-year-old street you'd find in like old Colorado City or in like Manitou Springs. Second, and some people really hate this, is these newer homes don't have yards or privacy the same way like the older homes in Colorado Springs typically do. You are not getting a big fenced yard, and you are not getting that solid wood privacy fence with space for your kids and your dogs to run around. A lot of these lots are extremely tight. Homes are closer together. There's very minimal separation, and that HOA landscaping that looks great from the street, but just doesn't give you that private outdoor living space that you might be looking for. If you've ever owned a home in like an established neighborhood in the Springs, you're used to having your own little like kind of private slice of life in your backyard. This is going to feel like a trade-off, even if the inside of the home is just totally brand new. I've had clients who moved in and loved every single bit of it. I've also had clients who spent every weekend driving to the west side to feel like they were in the actual city and just wishing they had a backyard to barbecue in. Know yourself and just know your family before you make any of these major decisions. Bottom line, guys, if you are PCSing to Peterson and you just want brand new construction with very minimal maintenance and just a very family-oriented environment, the Northern Powers Corridor is definitely going to deliver. It has very manageable commutes, the payments can be managed within your BAH, and now you know the trade-offs of living in the Powers Corridor area. If you're still mapping out your options in the Springs, go ahead and check out this playlist right here. I've covered neighborhoods that are just perfect for anyone PCSing to the Springs. That's going to include Fort Carson, United States Air Force Academy, Schriever, and Peterson. So no matter what, there is a neighborhood that fits your specific situation. New videos drop every single week for my military friends PCSing to Colorado Springs every Friday. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you there.